want to love you.
It's Monday.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Melanated Way. We're covering season 2, part 3 of the tell-all for The Last Resort, 90-day Last Resort. And I'm Linda. That's April.
Everybody in this chat knows me as April. You guys know that I'm using a nom de plume.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using a nom de plume for TikTok purposes, where I have the most followers because people be trying to file bar complaints against me.
Okay, so we're going back with Abby, and we had that conversation last week. I just don't know what's wrong with me. I just don't know.
It's hard. I know. It's okay.
Shout out to the live chat. Tanya doing the 3-play screen going. Loving that. Hi, Connie. Hey, girl. Hey. Joslo. Thumbs it up. That's right, y'all. I always forget to say that. Don't forget to take a minute to like and subscribe. Hey, Lori.
Hey, Lori Stories.
Overall thoughts, April. Overall
thought, I am glad that Ari finally got a little bit of vindication. That was like, watching this episode, I was like, oh, finally, she gets some vindication. It was a little bit her fault that we didn't understand where she was coming from before, but finally she gets to speak her piece. Yeah, good.
Agreed. I also think my overall thoughts were Rob, voice of reason? Okay.
To an extent.
Listen, in my opinion, he was putting out some very valid points this episode. I
guess to be completely honest, I'm still holding it against him the way that he acted with Jasmine. So maybe I'm not able to give him full credit for some reasonable things that he said. So I will accept that.
I will say that Jasmine also needs to take responsibility for her actions. It's never acceptable, in my opinion, to get violent with anyone. It's never acceptable to out someone, whether that is true or not. That's not your place to do it. So I would say to you, April, hold that same energy towards Jasmine.
So I know, yes, she should not have taken off her shoe, and she's been a little instigator. She's been a little instigator in some of these like conversations with people. I just hold it against Rob more because I feel like the only reason that he is taking this open relationship personal is because maybe that's what he wants. Because why is he so invested? Why is he so upset about Jasmine having a relationship with somebody else? Why does he care?
I mean, I think that he's friends with Gino. I think, like you already explained to us, that this was not truly a real open relationship.
It wasn't.
Jasmine picked who she wanted to be with, and she wanted to make sure that her baby was going to be taken care of, even though she didn't have a baby at that time. She wanted to be in a relationship, but also being taken care of. So I think we're going to just have to agree to disagree. I think that Jasmine is equally responsible for her bad behavior on that first part of the tell-all. It was very entertaining, don't get me wrong, but I think that Rob and her are equally wrong for their behavior.
He did say some smart stuff. Like Tanya said, my thoughts are, why are they dragging this out 5 parts? It's entertainment. They're giving the people something to talk about, Tanya.
Tanya, girl, listen, I am still fully entertained. I love that they're an hour long, not 5 hours long. Let me get 1 hour little snippets in. I'm good to go. So They jump in with Josh, Josh is the king of gaslighting, if I ever done seen. No. They jump in with Josh, explaining that, yes, he had sex with Natalie after the resort. And then I know we're not on episode 4, y'all, but that tea dropped like, I had it a few weeks ago, but I was like, I don't really want to post about Josh. But then I saw the preview of episode or part 4 of the tell-all, and I just want to say this. If you do not think that this man was an opportunist at this point, at this little season, then him being in a relationship with Jen, who's Elizabeth and Andrei's sister/sister-in-law, just so that he could stay in the 90-day universe, it is wild to me. It's
Extremely
wild.
wild.
It's
However,
wild.
do they not seem equally yoked though?
Oh, they are equally yoked. If anything, listen, Jen is gonna take him the distance because she's not playing. She's been around. She's not playing with him. You know, he tried to act like. Anyways, I'm jumping ahead, but he tried to act all Rico. I'm Slick Rick, and she shut it down immediately. I love that.
I do have a question about Josh. Something that he said confused me when he was talking about his children. I was in the impression that he had an ex-wife and all his children with the same ex-wife. Does he have multiple mothers of children?
Well, that's what it sounded like, and I think that was a slip up on his part, because it did sound like he had multiple wives and multiple baby mamas by the way he said what he said in part 3.
Right.
Did Jen get the Vegas invite? Yes, she did, Tanya. Vegas. Take me to Vegas, Josh.
And it didn't take 3 years either.
Nope. It didn't even take her getting with him. Like, she put that down immediately. Anyways, we go back to Darcy and Georgie and Florian and Stacy. And the question Sean asked was, should Stacy trust Florian? Georgie was controversial by saying maybe not. And then Georgie tries to like back out a little bit. I'm going to say this. If you're going to talk smack about people or about their relationships or about anything, stand Abby 10 toes deep. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Claim it, own it, and be about it. What I do not respect, I don't respect when people like say all this stuff and then they backtrack, they backpedal. Why are you backpedaling so quickly, Georgie? So that's what he was doing. He's like, oh, well, maybe not. What kind of trust is it? Is it flirting trust or cheating trust? You sound ridiculous right now.
Ridiculous.
Do you even know what you're saying? Because aren't you too an alleged cheater?
Not even alleged, right?
Well, I say alleged all the time now.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't there, but allegedly he too is a cheater. So for you to now say that there are different levels of trust just shows me that your behavior has not changed very much. Right. Joshua says, yes, he has 2 baby mamas, Josh.
Okay.
So then Sean asked, does Florian respect Stacy? And then Georgie continued to be completely shady and paused and paused and paused and then said, yeah. What were your thoughts on that, April?
They're just deliberately trying to have a little bit of the limelight as well, in my opinion. In this moment, I feel like Darcy and Georgie did not come to help. They came for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about the surgeries, just a little, because, you know, do you, whatever. But they look so different. They look so
especially
different.
When they turn to the side.
Yeah.
Like the profile view is what really makes it look drastic to me. When I look at them dead on, it's not so drastic. But when they turn to the side, particularly like the lip area going down into the neck jawline area, this area, very different.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think it's because I was seeing the side of Darcy, and I don't know what it is, but Darcy's looks a lot harsher than Stacy's. And I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what that is. If someone will explain it to me, then great. But wow.
I don't know what it is either, but I do remember the doctor telling me, because you guys remember I told you that I went for consultations to think about getting filler over here. The doctor told me that they could not guarantee when they put the filler in that it stays where they put it. So even if
Oh.
that was years ago, and they didn't use the word migrate, that's the word that people use now, that filler will migrate. But he just told me, if we put it in, we might end up having to do, 2 or 3 different revisions because we can't guarantee it'll stay where we put it.
Oh, so do you think maybe it's migrated a little bit more
It
on
could be
Darcy than
that.
Stacy?
It could be that, or it could be like when I looked at Darcy here, I got the impression that maybe she didn't have enough fat because it looks so tight and tense. So I'm like, maybe there wasn't enough fat or, enough excess skin to cover the area fully, like to flesh it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me guessing. I honestly have no idea. It just looks tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, it's just, it's very harsh. It's very drastic. And it to me, it just looks like it might hurt, even though I'm sure it doesn't. It just looks like it might to me. Oh, I just got a shiver. Oh,
Yeah.
anyways,
They're both very tight in the upper body. Like when I look at their arms, like next time you guys see them on TV, when you look at their arms, I don't think they could put their arms like flat down beside themselves. Like their bodies are too tight. You know what I mean?
oh my God,
I'm not saying that to be like negative. I'm just saying.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I hope they're happy. I guess what is really important is that
I do too, because they're actually, I mean, like Stacy in particular, but I like Darcy when I saw her on her own show. They actually seem like they're very loving people.
they are.
Like very kind, very loving people. And I hate that they went through so much like bullying that caused them to do all these surgeries, because honestly and truly, from the very first time that I saw them, they were beautiful before all of the surgeries that we've seen. I know they had a little bit of work done before the first time that we ever saw them, but from that point forward, they seem like they're really lovely and beautiful people.
Yeah, and they are. And I've met Darcy numerous times, and I can confirm that they are very loving people. And it's unfortunate, I think, that just childhood trauma, right? Because I know that a lot of you don't know this, but they're biracial. And I mean, I don't know why you would just look at their dad. If you didn't know, now you know. And they got bullied a lot for that. And I think it's sad that they try to wipe away their melanin so that they can fit into society's standards of what beauty is. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Georgie is asked by Sean what exactly happened with this whole Florian and the blondes. And then he says he doesn't remember telling Darcy about the blondes. And I was like, I am losing respect for you more and more that you back out. You literally called your wife. Your wife went and told her twin sister so that her twin sister could be unhappy in her marriage. So what are you now saying that you don't remember? And you're blaming it on the alcohol.
No, this is completely a lie, because this has to be something that they talked about while they're preparing to come to the show.
Yeah, Josla, her dad is not Spanish. That is absolutely not true. The dad is from, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's in Africa.
It's the same island Amber Rose is from. It start with an F, not Fiji.
It's an island.
Cape Verde. I'm pretty sure that's it.
I don't think that's even it. I look because I remember looking it up, and it's Cape Verde, the small island beside Africa. Abby?
I'm looking it up. Because it was bothering me. Yes, Cape Verde.
Okay, is that the island right beside the small island beside Africa?
So I was looking up first where he was from. Now I'm looking up the location. It looks like it's classified as being a part of Africa.
Yeah.
And it says it's an archipelago state of West Africa. So it's off the coast of Mauritania and Senegal, that area.
Mm-hmm.
That's where their father's from.
Yes. Okay, so back to Florian. Florian says, Georgie says he doesn't remember, and then he looks to Darcy to explain it, and then Darcy waters down even what she told Stacy originally. So she literally says, "Oh, well, all I heard was you walk some blonde home." No, that's not what you said. And that is not what you instigated in your sister. So why are you two now coming on national TV and backtracking that you disturbed? I don't get it. I don't
It
get
doesn't
it.
make any sense.
I don't get it.
And it's not like we only heard Stacy's version. We heard what Darcy said.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, listen, I'm not even gonna get started, but you know what you said and you know what you did, Darcy, and you maybe were having a moment where you were not happy with Georgie and you wanted to make sure that your sister was not happy with Florian, and she ended up spending the night in your room so you could have that twin sister bond that you keep talking about. But that's not how you deal with issues. And those issues aren't going to go away just because everyone's going to be miserable together. That doesn't make sense to me. So Florian explains, like he exactly explained that night, that he saw his neighbor, female, late at night, extra drunk, stumbling down the street, and he just made sure that she got home safely. And all he did was press the number in the elevator and made sure that door opened up so she was safe. Listen, he may have saved her from something, you guys. So instead of like all this yanny nanny, he could have saved her life that night. Who knows what could have happened to her?
And his story is staying consistent. The fact that his story is consistent with regard to all of the details that he's been able to give us, because Stacy still keeps cutting him off, is an indicator of truth to me.
Exactly. I agree. So Stacy also talked about how she's triggered. And this is where you guys just went to a resort with, allegedly these therapists. And yet here we are with all the issues still because, again, I just don't believe that they got real therapy because there were no tools given to them to take home and work on their relationship. So here Stacy's triggered because they track each other and she tried to track him and it was off apparently, but he was trying to explain to her, well, you don't really know how to use tracking, right? And I believe that. I believe it. I don't even think it's an age thing. I just think it's he knows tech a little bit better than her, and she maybe pushed the wrong button, didn't know how to fix it, and now she thinks her husband's being shady, but she only thinks that because she already has insecurities from his past discretions, right? So if you haven't actually really got past the trauma from before, then you're just continuing to bring it forward until you actually deal with it, right? And we've talked about this plenty of times, you guys. You can't, like, I couldn't stay with someone that cheated on me. I've told you guys that multiple times because I don't like the person that I would be. But you can't, but some people can get past it. But if you're going to get past it, you actually have to move past it. Ari says Florian's a bully. He bullies women and it's sad. What were your thoughts on that comment, April?
I tried to see where Ari was coming from because I do think she's smart and makes good observations, but I don't know where she's getting that from, that Florian is a bully and that he bullies women. Did he have an episode where he thought that he wasn't invited to Julia and Brandon's suite? Yeah, that was a weird, angry episode. But I don't agree from what we've seen. Maybe there's something that she knows we don't know, that he specifically targets and bullies women.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where that was coming from. And I can't reference a specific scene. So if you all can, let us know in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, definitely let us know there as well. And Sean asks, okay, so how much do you trust Florian, Stacy? And out of 10, she says 7. And when asked, do you think Florian will cheat again? Every single woman said yes. April, or Abby?
Unfortunately, I would have to say yes too, just because
Wow.
I can't bet on a man. It's not been my personal or statistical experience that when the chips are down, that a man could be counted on. And when she starts talking about getting older and having someone to take care of her, do I believe that Florian cares for her? I do. But do I believe that most men put their own needs and wants in front of their partners? I also believe that.
Oh, wow. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think that he learned from his past discretions. I think he really loves Stacy, and I hope he doesn't cheat again.
I hope he doesn't either. I just have seen so many examples of men who are very deeply in love with their partners, and still somehow the love that they have for their partners doesn't override their own personal desire to have an indiscretion.
But I also do know of long-term couples that have not dealt with that at all. So I think there's plenty of great guys, and I think there are plenty of terrible guys. You just have to see where the chips may fall.
Sorry, I'm so negative on you guys. Yeah. Show me something different though. Let me have a Linda experience. Let me know people who don't live like that.
And it's true. I know a lot of people that don't live like that. And I also am a hopeless romantic, and I do think that it's out there. It's out there, and I know that it exists. So,
for 1 second, can I go off topic for 1 second? There is a viral video going around. Have you guys seen it? Where this pastor and his wife are talking about surviving the hurdles of marriage. And the wife says at one point when her husband was cheating on her that she got angry and tried to stop him. But then after a while, she just started helping him prepare to go see his side chick. She would iron his clothes and make sure he had dinner when he came back. And she just kept praying that eventually God would return her husband to her. And they're on the podcast together, talking about this.
okay.
You guys, if you choose to stay with this is my opinion. If you choose to stay with someone because you want to work out your relationship, it's fine. Make that choice. I don't think you should put that on God. I don't even believe in God. But I don't think you should put that on God. Don't say God had you iron in this man's pants to go see his side chick. That's all you, babes. That's all you. Do not put that on God. Linda. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna send it to you afterwards so you can watch it and just be dismayed.
I don't know.
Just be dismayed before you go to bed. And that's not even the worst stuff that she said, you guys. That's not even the worst stuff that she said in the whole podcast episode. I watched the whole episode because I was befuddled by the whole thing. And that man sat there while she said all this stuff. And it looked like to me, it looked like he felt annoyed that he couldn't get out of her prayer. Okay, I'm done. Okay, back to 90 Day.
Oh, Lord. All right, Ari and Binny. Listen, when I say that Ari, Raydella, it couldn't be me either. Okay,
Right.
so when I say that Binny looked so guilty and so I look at him different now. He could not, the shame and guilt was just oozing out of every pore of his being. And the fact
As
that
it
he sat
should.
there and cussed Ari out, said the F word to her, stormed out and tried to make her like she was a crazy person, just to turn around and find out that he's the one that's been lying and cheating this whole entire time, multiple times. Shame on you, Binny. And the fact that you're crying, you want to know why you're crying? Because your meal ticket's gone. Okay. Ari's family did more for you than I don't know what. And now you're like, oh, being exposed, and you don't want to be the bad guy, but you had no problem making Ari look like she was a crazy, terrible colonizer.
Mm-hmm.
So they're moving on from their marriage. They're trying to co-parent. Ari's still helping him with his contracts because he does not know what to do about anything. He just, he's an entertainer, but he's not a business person. So he doesn't know how to maneuver that. And when you're in entertainment, the business aspect is just as important as the entertainment aspect. But she is like, I want that to stop. And even Janice was like, at some point, he's going to have to learn to work it out himself because you're grown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ari says that she's dating. She knows what she doesn't want from being in a relationship with Binny. Binny says that he's, quote, just dating. But you guys, I don't know if you can tell by now when he's lying, but when he lies, he does this like flutter thing with his eyes before he starts talking. And at first I thought it was a language thing, but it's him thinking of how he wants the lie to come out of his mouth. And so when he says he's just dating, that's not true. He has a full-on girlfriend. And what I thought was interesting was when he was asked, did you cheat on Ari? Ari's like, yeah, he cheated 4 times. And the first time was when I just had a baby. I just had C-section. I was in the bed and she saw I love you and miss you on his phone. And when she approached him about it, he deleted it. So she has no proof of seeing it, but she knows what she saw. And she's like, that was my first mistake because she didn't want to raise her baby alone. And so Sean asked them directly, have you ever cheated on Ari? And he's like, and stuttered through it, the whole thing. And finally he said, I would say yes. But only after Sean asked the question in a different way. Sean said, did you cheat on Ari right at like when she gave birth? And then he said, I would say yes. While she was pregnant, yes. Are you hearing that, you guys? So multiple times, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he apologizes. But what are you apologizing for, Binny? Are you apologizing for cheating multiple times? Or are you apologizing for acting like Ari was crazy for calling you out?
He's just apologizing for being caught. He wants to be able to keep the relationship with her, keep her doing things for him, keep her mom, and that relationship, and still be able to go out and do whatever he wants. I have a question for you.
For who, me?
Yeah. Suppose that this is your situation, right? You split from
Ari
someone.
And Binny?
Yeah, not exactly, but let's say you split from someone because they were unfaithful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that person previously had a very close relationship with your mother, as they should, as a son-in-law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel some kind of way about that relationship continuing?
It won't continue.
Because as I sat and watched this, I was like, how dare he address her mother? How dare you address her mother after what you've done to her?
Yeah. It's a no. A hard no. You go live and be with your family, and I will go live and be with my family. But what you're not about to do, even though Janice was like so amazing, right? She was like everyone's mom on that stage, and everyone listened to her, and she was polite and well-spoken and all that stuff. No, that's not what's going to happen. And even though she said, oh, Binny, you'll always be my son. I'll always love you and always be there for you. You're going to need to go and move on and do your own thing, Binny, in my opinion. Busala! Hi! Hey, girl, hey!
Hi, dear.
So, what we also find out, which I already knew, but he's cheated on every woman that he's ever been with. every single woman that he's ever been with. And like I told you, he also tends to like drop babies here and there. Right? So that says a lot about who he is. Yeah, he can sing and dance, but you know, all of that is a smoke screen because he needs to feel love and be loved without working on the trauma that he is inputting on women. And not only women, on these children. Like Ari said, you need to make your family, your children, a priority. So what does that mean? That means you need to come around and spend some time with your son. You keep saying that your son is your son, and we're co-parenting. Well, you got to show up. And according to Ari, it doesn't seem like you're showing up very often. Right?
Which is horrible because that little boy adores him.
Yep. The guilt on his face, I couldn't get past, you guys. I was just like, yep.
And he had nothing to say about it.
He couldn't.
I don't remember the guys saying anything about it either. Maybe Gino did. Maybe Gino said something about, yeah, you need to be there for your son. But I don't remember the guys saying much about it.
And Ari called the guys out on that same energy that you gave to Jasmine, saying Jasmine the cheater. Why do you not have that same energy towards Binny? And none of them really did. Janice said that Ari and Binny's relationship has been a long journey. The highlight was obviously having Avi, but after that, everything went downhill. The password situation that Sean brings up again. Janice was like, I don't know. I don't think it really accomplished anything. But what I will tell you is that some of the people involved with Binny are opportunists, and one of them or multiple of them tried to extort him and threatened to put some things on social media and wanted money from Binny. And that's part of the reason that Ari was changing passwords and trying to protect him. And I believe that.
I do. But he didn't challenge it. Yeah.
I believe it, as well as I believe when Ari said he didn't want me to tell anyone. I think there was a lot that she held back because Binny didn't want to look like the bad guy. And she's a bigger person than me because I would have said all the things.
Absolutely. You're not going to have me looking crazy to protect you, when you won't do the one thing for me. Like, I still think it was over the top the way she was demanding physical affection. But the fact that he wouldn't answer her when she was asking over and over, I just want you to say that you cheated on me so we can work from there. Like, you won't say that, but you want me to protect your image? Absolutely not. Your image is going down in flames.
100%. So Janice explains all of this, and all the cast members truly had a better understanding, which a little bit upset Ari. Ari's like, oh, you know, my mom comes on stage, she says a little something, you guys all pay attention, and now you guys all understand. She's like, but I've been trying to say this since day one. And I agree with, I think it was Rob, it was one of them that said, the thing is, you go about it in a roundabout way, so they didn't get what she was saying. But you guys, you didn't get what she was saying because she was holding so much back to protect Binny. And so it came across like she was going about it a roundabout way, but she was just trying to protect Binny. And I just think that that's terrible because at the end of the day, she's the one that was made to look like she was terrible.
I would say don't do that. Like, you do what you want to do. But I would say don't do that. I see a lot of times where women will not say negative things about the fathers when the fathers don't show up repeatedly. And then the kids grow up with this skewed view of who added to their life. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys who are like, oh, my mom wouldn't let my dad see me. That's why my dad wasn't around when I was younger. Baby, tell them kids the truth. Tell them kids the truth. Tell them the age-appropriate truth about what's going on so they don't hold it against you when they get older.
But I do think that when children get older, they see for themselves.
So I have a niece who was not told the truth about why her dad wasn't around when she was younger. And as she got into her early 20s, she made a comment to me where I went and told my sister, you gotta sit down and talk to her. Because the skewed view that she has of what you've done in her life and what her dad has done in her life, she's not adulting out of it. It's the view that you allowed her to have about this relationship. you know? And I'll go into more detail. She said sometimes you do have to a woman to make her listen. No. You need to talk to her. Don't let her have a skewed view of what happened in that household and what's okay and what's not okay. Sometimes you've got to tell the kids the age appropriate truth. My ex-husband used to be mad at me. Don't tell Taylor X, Y, or Z because of you're talking bad about me. I said, well, stop doing bad things. Because I'm not going to take the responsibility of why all of a sudden that the dance at school has to be attended by my father instead of you being there. I'm not going to bear the burden of having to hide what you did and you got arrested that day. I'm not. So just tell them the age appropriate truth so when they grow up, they don't have these kind of issues.
Okay. I'm going to sit with that. Because I do think oftentimes too, it's a fine line. It's a fine line. And I think that there are some people, and I'm not going to just say women because it's women and men, that are not emotionally mature enough to speak in a way that is constructive and age appropriate. I think it just comes bashing to bashing, and especially if they don't have that emotional maturity, then they're just bashing their ex-partner, and it's just a terrible look. So I'll sit with that for a bit and see if I marinate a different thought. Florian says that Binny doesn't respect his wife, doesn't respect his friends, and they're not friends. And in Florian's culture and Florian's view, you shouldn't be dancing with other people's spouses. You shouldn't be picking them up and swirling them around and all of that stuff, even if it's just for fun, even if it's just for entertainment. It's disrespectful. What are your thoughts on that, Abby?
So I was a little bit confused about how harsh Florian got when he was talking about this, because I just didn't see it coming. I didn't interpret Stacy dancing with Binny as intimate as I think that he interpreted it. So I was a little surprised at how harsh Florian got in this segment. I was actually thinking when they showed it as a clip that it must have been something else included. Like, I didn't think it really was going to go like it was in the clip. You know what I mean? What did you think? Did you think he was a little harsh?
I think it's a cultural thing. I think it's a cultural thing for him. And like I said about Rob earlier, being the voice of reason, I think that if it means to have a little bit less fun because your partner is feeling disrespected, then respect your partner. And if that's something that makes him feel disrespected and uncomfortable, then hey, you know what? Dance with your girls or dance with your partner, but don't dance with him if it's making your partner feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And I think that's what it comes down to. And I think that I remember what Ari said when she was at the resort, where Binny always also wants to be the center of attention. I think that whole, I'm a dancer, I'm an entertainer, and all this stuff, he can pull it back a little bit. You don't always have to be the dancer entertainer in every every environment you happen to find yourself in.
You don't. I do think that he overcompensates sometimes for not being able to participate in the conversation fully. But, and I do agree that Stacy shouldn't do that if it makes Florian uncomfortable. I agree with that. I just like the whole line where he said, if you come to my country and dance with somebody's wife, you won't dance anymore. I was like, that's really harsh. That's I wasn't expecting that was actually going to be what he really said in the show with no other context.
Seemed like a cultural thing to me. I know I keep saying that, but I think that's where he's coming from. Then there was this weird fight between Ari and Julia that I really don't remember seeing this scene, but apparently Ari texted Julia that she was a B. Ari says that she was just joking, and that she texted while she was in front of Julia and then showed her. But then Julia, of course, went and talked to Sophie and some of the other girls. And they're like, oh, well, Ari actually hates you, which made Julia believe that, oh, maybe she does really think I'm a B. And so it was like some back and forth. Ari says Julia is a fake B and the C word. And I was like, oh. So after we just all got mad at the guys for throwing these disgusting names to Jasmine, now the girls are doing the same thing. Why are you why are you mean girling it out here, Ari? Like, why? Why?
I did not understand this entire altercation. I even watched it back, like rewind, watched it again. I was like, I don't even understand what they're arguing about. Hey, Milo.
Hi, Mila.
Mila, sorry.
Hi, hey girl, hey. What are you cooking for dinner? Anyways, they fight. But then what I think I love about Julia is that she's the first to get up and apologize. And she's not just like, okay, sorry. She literally, her body gets up, she addresses you, she hugs you and apologizes. And I just really appreciate that about her.
Yes.
Especially when she also is taking responsibility for her actions and her part and her role in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, which I thought was hilarious. Josh decides to weigh in on Binny's relationship levels and gives Binny a 1 out of 10. And I was like, you are also a 1.
Yeah, sir. You're throwing stones from a glass house. Calm down.
Crazy. Moving on to Natalie and Josh. Speaking of Josh, Josh doesn't want to get into it when Sean's like, okay, you ready to get into it? He's like, no. And I laughed at that because I know he's not, because he never wants to be confronted, because he likes to dance around the issues. Hooked up with Natalie after the resort, and Natalie played a huge role in it. Natalie, oh, Natalie. Love yourself more, sissy. Love yourself more. But she was sending him F me messages and photos, which he said enticed him to hook up with her. And so he said it was a moment of weakness. And Sean corrected him and said, well, clearly it was several moments of weakness. Natalie admits that she couldn't move forward for a while because she was shocked that he broke up with her. She really thought that they were in a relationship. And it wasn't until Rob, again, the voice of reason, told Josh to leave Natalie alone. Leave her alone because you were definitely leading her on. That he took a step back. But I don't even believe that's why he took a step back. He took a step back because Natalie took her to social media and called him a bad father, said that he had a felon living in his house and that she was scared for his daughter. He got upset with her, reached out to her, and told her to stop lying on social media. She denies doing any of this. And here's where, again, I just really... And it's not shade. I just want to explain to you guys that I think it's important when people are giving you information as an interviewer, as a host, you need to then explore that because you're getting information that perhaps someone else doesn't have. But instead, Sean decided that she wasn't going to discuss it. She glosses over it, says that this dispute is not going to get reconciled here, obviously, so she wants to move on.
You didn't even ask. You didn't even try to ask Natalie, what exactly did you say?
Hello? And even if it doesn't get resolved, don't you have an opportunity here to help resolve it?
Mm-hmm. Josh, do you have a felon in your house? There are so many questions.
How? So many missed opportunities because she doesn't watch the show. She's not invested. Irritates me.
It's irritating. We're going to have a 4-part tell-all. We can get some more information.
A 5-part tell-all.
5-part. That's right. 5-part
Let's
tell-all.
get into the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm. You have time. You have no time crunch keeping you away from doing this.
Sean asked Josh if Natalie was ever his girlfriend in the 3 years they were together. He says there was no official title. And everyone's like, that's a yes or no question. And then he says, no. I never claimed her. Nope. Can you believe that? 3 years. 3 years.
I believe it because at the last resort, when everybody else was talking about the recommitment ceremony, he said the commitment, recommitment, whatever we're calling it. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously at that time, he admitted at least to himself that this was not a committed relationship.
You know, yeah. I mean, he literally just said that. He's like, it was not ever that serious. And then he gets caught up, you guys, because when a liar lies, but then you continue to question them, sometimes they get caught up in their lie. And here's an example of that. He's asked by Sean, in the 3 years that you were with Natalie, did you ever have sex with other people? And then he says no. And then Sean, I'll give her this. She did follow up, right? Because that sounded like some cockamamie nonsense. She said, so you're saying in the 3 years that you were with Natalie, not exclusive, you didn't have sex with any other person? And then he said, probably not. Yes. Yes, he had sex with other people. You see, liars are going to lie. Liars are going to lie, y'all.
Yeah, his first instinct was to lie. And then probably when he realized this is preposterous, I can't pull this one off. Then he was like, okay, I'll tell the truth.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You just finished saying you were not exclusive. You didn't claim Natalie. It was never that serious. But then you're now saying that you were solely, completely exclusive with her.
Right.
Like, what is it, Josh? Oh, a gaslighter and a liar. It's no bueno, you guys. It's no bueno.
Josh, there's nothing good there. But you know what? There's nothing good about Jen either, so have at it.
With who?
Jen.
You don't like her?
I don't have the best memories about her personality. Is she not the sister who made jokes about Andre's conditional residency getting denied?
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't know.
That's what I remember about her.
Well, I mean, they're going to give each other a run for their money. I personally think that this is just a ploy for each of them to be back in the 90-day franchise. I can't see how. So they've been dating for months now, allegedly, and going to Vegas, yet you guys haven't had any intimacy. I find that hard to believe. I really do. So Josh continues to put salt on Natalie's wound, says he never fully committed to Natalie. Everyone, including myself, I said this from day one. Could you not have told her that from the very beginning? Because you knew exactly what she wanted. She was very clear that she wants to get married and have a kid, get married, have a kid, get married, have a kid, be an exclusive relationship, get married and have a kid. We've known that from the Mike days. So for 3 years, you couldn't tell her, hey, you know what? I'm just not that into you.
Right. This is not going to happen.
This is not going to happen. I just find it really terrible. I find that to be terrible. And for you to then continue to lead her on so that you can have intimate situations with her, as well as like big yourself up to make you feel better because you think she's a beautiful girl. So if you have a beautiful girl on your arm, then you must be like a good guy or good looking guy. I just think it's terrible and it's selfish. And I think you're a terrible person for doing that to her.
It is very selfish. I think you have a responsibility. If you know someone wants something that's very different from what you want, I think you have a responsibility not to string them on.
100%.
I have been disagreed with about this before with a close friend, though. So a close friend said, in this particular situation, she did not want to have any more kids. She was dating someone who did want to have kids. And I said, you've got a responsibility then to let him move on. And she's like, but he's choosing to stay with me. I said, he's choosing to stay with you and repeatedly bringing up the conversation. And he thinks because you entertain the conversation each time that there's a chance you might change your mind. You got to tell him, I'm not changing my mind on this, and let him go. I think that you have a responsibility to do that. She didn't agree.
I mean, I agree with you, April. You be clear, you guys, clear on what you want, and make sure that you're being honest about what you want. That's it. Josh then says that Natalie called his ex-wife names, like her infamous hooker, etc., and he was not going to tolerate that.
Sorry,
he was not going to tolerate that because he values, quote, the relationships with my kids' mothers. She is a threat to those relationships.
With another S, yes. A S on all of that.
S on all of that, which I did not know that he is a Binny. He's multiple baby mamas, multiple ex-wives, right?
Yeah, he didn't mean to tell us that, but we know now, Josh.
We know now. Because you know what? Again, sometimes when a liar just continually lies, bits of truth spill out because they don't know what they lied about. Then he decides, and I do really feel like this was him lashing out for the fact that he is being shown as a bit of a liar and a gaslighter and a user and an opportunist. He called Natalie a liar and a scam artist and good luck with your life. And I just thought that was so extra, Abby. I thought that really you need to turn that mirror on yourself. You are the person that came on a whole show about fixing relationships to say that you were never in a relationship. You are the same person who's now got a little bit of the 90-day fandom, felt a little bit of that flavor, and now you call yourself a 90-day bad boy. Okay, got a group, a bunch of other 90 days that you're getting all of that attention on, and then now you're going to go date a 90-day cast member's sister who was also a 90-day. Stop playing about who's using who. Okay?
Exactly.
About who's scamming who.
Exactly.
About who's lying about what.
Exactly.
Okay?
Whatever energy you're getting from Natalie, that is the price that you pay to get on this train that you're currently riding on.
That's it. You should be thanking her. Go ahead and put her in all your modeling shows because without her, you wouldn't be where you are right now. Period. I said what I said, and I'm sick of you. Natalie has her issues, but she's true about what she wants in her feelings.
Yeah. What do you think this is for him? Like, we know that he just wants to be associated with 90 Day. Is it because he's trying to promote his own business, or he's trying to just build himself up as a content creator? Like, what is his ultimate desire here, do you think?
Infamy, famous.
Just for the fame?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because if it was about his business, he would have talked about his business way more. He wouldn't be doing 90-day bad boy dancing around stuff. It's about the infamy. That's what it's about. And, you know, you get a little... Listen, if you get a little bit of fame, some people... Thank you, 1,000 pieces. You get a little bit of fame.
That's for the fame.
It's hard to let that go for a lot of people because it feeds into... the parts of you that like attention, the parts of you that need to be validated by others. I can go on and on and on and on and on. But it's that. Because if it was about his business, he would talk about his business. If it was really about love, he would have left that relationship a long time ago and gotten in a real relationship instead of getting into another pseudo relationship with a 90-day cast member. The fact that he surrounds himself with all 90-day gives me, what's that other dude's name that was terrible? Oh, you know who I'm talking about. He said that now she's transgender. he at the time was trying to date every single.
Justin, but that's not his government name. Is that who you're talking about?
He was on The Bachelor.
Oh no, this guy was not on The Bachelor.
Yeah, he was on The Bachelor. You guys know who I'm talking about. He faked his own death.
Oh, I have no idea who this is.
Oh, you guys, I'll look it up again. But
Faked his own death.
He faked his own death online. He then came out as transgender, but he wasn't, and it was like so disrespectful what he was doing.
Faked his own death online.
Mm-hmm.
And he originally was on 90 Day?
No, he's never been on 90 Day, but he said that he's dated or he's tried to date every single 90 Day person. You guys know who I'm talking about? If you follow me on Instagram, you would really know. I just can't think of his name right now because I blocked it out.
Oh, wait. Is his name Josh Sater?
That's it. And so
okay.
I
did know. I didn't know the lore behind him, but I have heard that name.
Oh, so they're both Joshes.
Appropriate.
Yes, Yolanda. He did that whole fake thing with Yolanda, got her name tatted on. Oh my gosh, you guys, the worst. Are Joshes just the worst? Weigh in the comment section, you guys. That's all I have for you today. We're heading over to Abby's TikTok for a quick little 5 to 10 minute scoop-a-doop.
Scoop-a-doop.
I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Or see you later on TikTok. Ooh.